All right, welcome back. The marijuana industry is reeling after the Justice Department rolled back Obama-era protections for states that have legalized pot. The decision puts those states at odds with the federal government, which still considers marijuana sales a crime, and critics say it's a costly mistake. The marijuana industry reported $8 billion in revenue last year. Washington state alone saw more than $1 billion during the last fiscal year, bringing in $314 million in taxes. It's pretty big money, and there is a lot at stake here. Governor Jay Inslee joins me now from Seattle. Good to see you, Governor, and Happy New Year.
Thanks for having me on. It is a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Very good. Well, hopefully it continues to be so, but then with this, new directive coming from the Attorney General, this certainly does cramp the style of many states. So what do you believe is behind this?
Well, look, I know that Donald Trump has declared himself a stable genius, but I have to say, sowing instability in a very stable market and stable move forward in Washington State and Colorado, now California, is not stability. It is sowing instability where it is not needed. And it is not genius. And the reason it is not genius is it's a decision not based on evidence. Because the evidence is that in our state, in Colorado, in many states with the medical marijuana, we have proven that if you have a well-regulated, disciplined market, you allow people the liberty interest to make their own decisions, you do not increase youthful use of marijuana. That's been demonstrated in my state. You prevent the loss of this product outside the regulated market. You do not end up with more scandalous behavior. You do not end up with more crime, in fact, perhaps the opposite. And you have the side benefit of generating money for our schools and our health benefits to the tune of actually about $700 million a year a biennium in our state. So the evidence of this, a stable genius would look at the evidence and make a decision rather than allow Jeff Sessions to run off with this bee he's had in his bonnet for a long time that simply is not consistent with what we have demonstrated in the way this country is moving. Now, we think we're going to succeed on this. We are not going to back up 1 inch on this. We're going to continue to stay the course in the state of Washington. So
you will continue to stay the course. So what do you think is behind this? Why do you believe that the AG or taking a directive from the President of the United States would not be in step with this kind of profitable enterprise? Does it have everything to do with the President's push for his global and national, war on drugs, with his effort to build a wall, to make a real impact on immigration and drugs?
Well, all I can say is this was not a rational decision. A rational decision maker, before they made a decision, would look at the evidence. We have asked Mr. Sessions to meet with us. I've asked to meet with him on several occasions. He's refused to do so because a rational decision maker that was a genius would look at the evidence, and he has not bothered to look at the evidence of what we have demonstrated. And what we have demonstrated is that the fears of youthful increased usage have not come to pass. Look, I actually opposed this initiative when this was voted on in the state of Washington because I had concerns about that. But we have now tested this, and we have found that this has not resulted in increased youthful usage. It has not resulted in additional crime, and it has freed our law enforcement to go chase rapists and killers rather than people using this in their homes. And so, and by the way, this is not just recreational. The Attorney General also rescinded the policy involving medical marijuana. People with cancer. I had dinner last night with a friend who uses this for some of her difficulties with cancer treatment. He's tried to destabilize the medical marijuana. Now, we're going to move forward because he actually has not given a directive to the local attorney generals to prosecute anyone. And our local attorney general, as so far, has said, we're not changing the pattern here. We're not going to prosecute people. We're going to continue our current pattern. So this may be just more a political statement than an actual policy. But just giving instability is not helpful. It's not helpful. We want these companies to use banks rather than cash. And Mr. Sessions' actions make it more difficult to do that. So we'd rather have a little stability and a little less of this so-called genius and we will continue this experiment, which is really successful. Now, we need Congress to eliminate those criminal penalties for Congress so we can move ahead as well.
All right, we will leave it right there. Washington Governor Jay Inslee, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, coming up.